H stands for ha 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 ha. So it's basically a fake laugh. And I say that because I know when you do the fake laugh, you're going to feel so weird and so embarrassed and like, what is going on? That your real laugh is going to come afterwards. And then that's what we're trying to get as photographers, is that real laugh. So sometimes you got to do the fake laugh to get the real laugh. So you're going to be laughing. You can laugh down, you can laugh up. While you're swaying, you're laughing, ha 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 ha, and then that real laugh's going to come afterwards. Just like what I did right there. And then, okay, these two T's are probably the most important, but the first one is the tip. And okay, let me try to use my words here. So you're going to go like from your hips and basically do a tiny tip towards the camera. This just makes you look more involved into that scene. And then anything that moves away from the camera, so as you're tipping, your hips and everything is moving away from the camera, that appears smaller.
Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I'm your host, Angela Duncan, speaker, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, and we talk all things money and business. Today's episode is sponsored by freemoneytipsbook.com. freemoneytipsbook.com. Head over there, download your free ebook, 7 Unshakable Tips to get you started on your financial journey. Today's episode, I get the privilege of interviewing Stacey Poterson, CEO and founder of Femoris Shoots, and she's going to teach you the shit method. It's not what you think it is. It's the way that you should be posing in your social media photos and your branding photos. Check out this episode. Hi, Stacey. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. How are you today?
I am good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm super excited for today's episode. I have tons of questions for you. Absolutely love what you're doing. So why don't we start off first with your story, your journey? How did you get to what you're doing today?
Yeah, so I actually have been a photographer for, 13 years now. Started out mainly doing portraits and then moved into weddings. And I found after doing weddings for quite a while, and then having 3 kids, that I ended up being gone on nights and weekends because I was shooting weddings, which is when those happen. And there was one wedding that I was out of town shooting, and my son, who was 5 at the time, he had a baseball game. He was playing first base and he got nailed in the chest with a line drive, fell down. Coaches from both sides were running out and making sure he's okay. He ended up being okay, but mommy wasn't there. Nana and Papa were there, but mommy wasn't. And I remember getting that text when I was shooting the reception at the wedding, and I started tearing up. I had to go to the bathroom. And that was kind of like the turning point for me of like, okay, what else can I do to still use photography, still provide for my family, but also be at my kids' games on nights and weekends. And so that's where it kind of started to shift from there, and got the idea of doing what we're doing now with Femoris and helping female entrepreneurs just show up and get their social media content.
Yeah, and that's amazing too. So taking the skill that you're already great at, that creativity piece of it, and turning it into a business that didn't require you to be gone night and weekends. So that's a great story. So how did it start for you for the business?
Yeah, so after that, I started actually photographing a friend who is a blogger and an influencer. And I was just listening to what she was asking me for and what these other bloggers were asking for. And they were typically questions that are kind of no in our industry. Like, can I edit my own photos? No. In the photography industry, that's a no. Like, that's blasphemy to photographers, right? And then other questions of just like, hey, I just need a quick photo shoot. I need photos, like fresh ones every single day. But I can't do like branding sessions. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a gap in our industry here. It's either, iPhone selfies, which are okay, but they're not professional when you're trying to build a brand. Or there's expensive branding sessions, which are great when you need them, But there was nothing in the middle that was really helping these women show up on social media. And that's where we're like, okay, what can I do to like help these women? And that's how it was like born as well, just coming from like these influencers and listening to like what people needed and then creating it.
Yeah. So what is Femoris? Like, how is it different than your typical photographer?
Yeah, I love this question because it is totally different. It's very non-traditional the way we set it up. Our whole goal and mission, number one, is to just help female entrepreneurs show up and to be seen. So we do that in a very tangible way with our monthly content shoots. So it is a photo shoot subscription service. So female entrepreneurs become a member, they get one photo shoot a month, and they can use that photo shoot at different locations that we already have pre-selected. So they go to the location, they sign up for a time slot, they can bring up to 3 outfits with them, and they're going to be sharing that time slot with 3 other ladies. So we kind of got dubbed networking photo shoots as well, because you get to do some networking while you're getting your content done as well. But we rotate through all the 4 ladies, and then we get you in and out within an hour. So we make it quick, we make it fast, we make it affordable, and then you get all your content. So you'll get professional photos, and then you'll also get some B-roll video content that we'll shoot for you on your phone. So then you can go home, edit those, make some reels, things like that.
Yeah, and I like that. So one, you're taking like the task of finding a new location every month, or a new location for photo shoots off of us.
Yes.
And you have a professional there that's taking professional photos.
Yep.
And you get to network with some other ladies in your area that are likely doing a different business, so that you guys can, collaborate together, maybe do some photos together as well.
Yep.
So then you bring that all together in a membership package, which is incredible, because then during the week, as entrepreneurs, it's easier for us sometimes to step away for an hour on, say, like a Tuesday or Wednesday than it is to plan something at nighttime or on the weekends.
Right.
So I love that whole concept. That's awesome.
Yeah, we have so much fun with it. And we've seen it too, where like women, I just talked to someone, she was like, I was at my photo shoot on Tuesday and I met someone there, and the next week I was going and giving a webinar to her community. And I was like, this is so cool. Like these people, just connections that are being made, as well as getting your content for sure.
Yeah. Now, when you're doing your photo shoot, now you talked about the B-roll, do you give them like 5 photos, or what does it look like when you're turning around the photo package to the client?
Yeah, so we actually give you all the photos. What I found with just being a photographer for 13 years is typically my favorites are not the client's favorites. So I'm not going to go and pull them out. But you'll get all of them. So you'll get the good, you'll get the bloopers, which sometimes people make funny captions with the bloopers. And then you can go through and choose which ones you like, and you can apply your own edits and presets, filters as well. So because then it will just match your brand aesthetics for your Instagram.
Yeah, and I like
the B-roll is just done on your phone.
Yeah, and I like the idea of being able to edit, but also looking at some of the fun stuff. So that's a great tip too, because your clients want to know that you're a real person, and that you want to have fun too, and that so being able to show some of those bloopers or those fun, those are that's awesome photos too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I was at an event where you were presenting, and you talked about posing and like how important that could be for your photos, and not something that most of us think about because we're not photographers, and we're professionals in our own way, but not quite in that area. So talk a little bit about the posing.
Yeah. Well, this is the biggest thing that I think holds women up is I don't know what to do in front of the camera, so I'm just not going to do a photo shoot, or I'm going to feel embarrassed, I'm going to feel awkward, so I'm just not going to do a photo shoot, or I'm not photogenic, so I'm just we'll just stay away from it. But really, like being photogenic and learning how to be good in front of the camera, like it's a learned skill. It's something you have to practice, and it's something you have to repeat, and something you have to keep doing to get better at. So I have learned that if women come armed with some posing basics, so they kind of know what to do when it's their turn in front of the camera, they feel a little bit more confident. So, I mean, I can go into that if you want to. I have a SHTT. I mean, when you, I don't, it kind of sounds like a curse word when I say it out, but I'm like, go practice your shit. And then each letter stands for a posing prompt. So that's something that we can go through, and I can try to use my words. I have a video on it to showcase it if any of your listeners want to see that, but I can use my words and kind of explain it if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So it's shit. So not SHIT, but SHTT. So the first letter is S, And basically what you're wanting to do is sway. And the whole purpose of this is to just create movement within your photos to help create variety. We don't want all the photos where you're just saying the same and maybe like looking right, looking left, that's it. But you want to create some movement. So you can go left to right and you're swaying. You can also sway, or also what I call rock, front and back. So put all your weight on your front leg and then all your weight on your back leg and just kind of go back and forth, side to side, and really getting some movement in there. So that's S. H stands for ha 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 ha. So it's basically a fake laugh. And I say that because I know when you do the fake laugh, you're going to feel so weird and so embarrassed and like, what is going on? That your real laugh is going to come afterwards. And then that's what we're trying to get as photographers, is that real laugh. So sometimes you got to do the fake laugh to get the real laugh. So you're going to be laughing. You can laugh down, you can laugh up. While you're swaying, you're laughing, ha 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 ha, and then that real laugh's going to come afterwards.
Yeah.
Just like what I did right there. And then, okay, these two T's are probably the most important, but the first one is the tip. And okay, let me try to use my words here. So you're going to go like from your hips and basically do a tiny tip towards the camera. This just makes you look more involved into that scene. And then anything that moves away from the camera, so as you're tipping, your hips and everything is moving away from the camera, that appears smaller. So that's a tip, and you can do that while you're facing front. You can do that while you're from the side, and you're going to tip to the camera as well. So doing that while you're getting all your movement, all that type of stuff. And then the second T is turtle. And a lot of times when we're getting photo shoots, we find that like photographers are kind of in our bubble and our space, and we kind of take a little step back, and we're like, I mean, you can't see this if you're listening, but basically we're kind of creating a double, triple chin because we're like, get out of my space. So what we're trying to do with the turtle is bring your forehead and your chin out, almost like imagining a turtle coming out of its shell, bringing it towards the camera without rolling your shoulders forward. So this is just going to help eliminate that double chin, and whether, kind of from the side, just eliminate, and make it more flattering for you.
Yeah.
So when you combine it and you tip and you turtle and you get some movement in there, you're going to get really good variety, flattering photos.
Yeah, that way you don't have to edit as much either. Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're in multiple cities at this point, right? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I am here in Phoenix based. Phoenix was our #1 city, and now we're in 8 other cities as well. So we are in Houston, Austin, Dallas. We are in Denver. We are in Nashville, DC, and Tampa and Miami.
Sweet. Now, did you decide, because obviously you're the owner, you started the company, did you decide to franchise, or how did you decide that expansion opportunity for you?
Yeah, I love that. Right now it's all company owned. So it's all ran underneath me. I'm organizing, running it, doing everything from there. But as future cities come on, there may be some licensing opportunities.
Yeah, so it's something
as we expand that way.
Yeah, as a business owner, when you think about something like this, that's kind of specialized in an area because you're on site. As a business owner, you think about, if I do want to expand, kind of what does that look like? So it's nice that you're doing the corporate owned now with potential of perhaps a franchise in the future. And as long as you're protecting that brand and what you're delivering, right?
Absolutely. And it just helps, even right now, just making sure our systems and our processes, everything are like in line, ready to go, so that if we do license, or even if it is a franchise, we have the system ready to go. Here you go. This is how it works. Like everything is set out and ready to go. This is what, how we do this, how we do this, how we do this. So then they can just take it. It's like almost like a turnkey business. So then they just take it and go from there. But we kind of have to, well, I guess I kind of had to walk through the process, right, and figure out what exactly that is before we're going to be ready to license or franchise.
Yeah, protecting the brand, but then you can charge more because the system is already in place and you're just delivering an item for someone to implement and just start, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you see yourself perhaps going internationally someday with this?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm never going to not say, like, I won't say no. So yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a lot of like laws to figure out, and research, but I'm down for going international for sure.
Yeah, that's good. How did you think about what cities to start expanding to?
Yeah, our first one after Phoenix was Denver. And again, just by listening to what was being requested, we got a lot of requests for Denver.
Hmm.
And in my head, without, expanding to another city, I was like, just in the back end, if for some reason my photographer doesn't show up to the shoot, me being in Phoenix, that's like an hour and a half flight. I can go over there and I can shoot it if I like absolutely need to. So it was kind of a little bit of like what's being needed, but then also like what's my backup plan if something goes wrong. And then just from there, we have a lot of realtors as well that are members. And so we're kind of going where there's some hot spots in real estate as well for our cities.
And some places where it has hopefully some beautiful scenery that you can use too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So then let's talk about that a little bit, because you've been in photography for a long time, you have an eye of what looks good for your background things. What do you look for when you're thinking about what are going to be your next locations for the photo shoot?
Yep. Number one is going to be light. So we shoot all natural light. That gives us like our very much of a lifestyle type vibe of the photos that we are creating. So we need places that have good natural light. And then after that, obviously things that are Instagram worthy. So we're always shooting in cute coffee shops, resorts, co-working spaces. We love shooting in anything like locally owned or woman owned, where we can come in and bring our ladies into their space. So things that are just designed in a cute way. We love Airbnbs, especially ones that are fun and funky and have some unique type things to it. We have some model homes that we've shot in, but all those places we're looking for natural light, number one priority.
That's some good ideas too. And then I assume you listen to whoever the photographer is in that city that might have some recommendations for you, or their clients might have some recommendations as well, right?
Absolutely. We have a lead photographer in each of our city, and they're the ones who are in charge of finding the locations, making those partnerships, things like that. So they know the area, they know what's going on. If they need to go visit a spot, they can, and check it out that way too.
Yeah. So you have a membership option. Do you have other options available if people are thinking about, trying this out, or maybe they just need a one time? Are there other options that are available for clients?
Yeah. So we do have a $99 trial shoot. So it's basically come in, try us out. You're not committing to a membership, but come see what it's all about. See if you like it, see if it's for you. And then from there, you can go into the membership. If you're feeling like you want something that is more customized, more quote unquote traditional photo shoot, we do offer those as well. We call them one-off photo shoots. So those are great for branding, but they're also great for women that might be holding retreats or masterminds or anything like that, where we can come in and get either group photos, or we can offer like headshots while you're at your mastermind retreat and give all your attendees some fresh new photos. So those are an option as well with the membership.
That's good, because then if, say, for example, I'm a member, I live in Miami, right? So if I'm a member in Miami and I was visiting Denver for, a conference or something and just wanted some fresh new content, then I could do that drop in as well over there.
Yeah. And if you're a member, we have like an elite membership. So if you're one of the elite members, you can use your pass to use in any city. So if you are traveling, you can pop into one of our cities and shoot there as well.
That's a great option. Maybe I'll just go and on a photo tour, right? And just go
explore. Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun. Yes.
I would love that, because then I can feel like I was in the city visiting and took some great photos for social media.
And you have proof of it.
Yeah. I mean, I have a professional person, not just some random stranger I'm asking to take with my iPhone.
I know. Like, please take this. Yeah. Then you'll get good photos for sure.
Yeah. So maybe give us some funny stories or some interesting stories that you've heard, either from your photographers that are out in the field in different cities, or something that you've seen since you started this. I love to share just some fun stuff so the audience can have some fun with the business as well.
Let's see. I think it's fun. We have a lot of women who will bring in some fun props. So those are fun. We have,
what would be a fun prop that you've seen?
I don't know if it's fun, but it's a fun in a different way. But they're women who are relationship coaches. So they bring in quote unquote toys. So we've had that sometimes, if you kind of get my vibe for what they're bringing in here for their photo shoots. Those have popped in a few times. So those were kind of funny. but yeah, just some props. They bring in great props, anything that represents their brand, who they are. We have some people with Christmas coming up. They got their Santa hats, they got their masks, they're like pretending they're Santa with their bags, that type stuff too. So things like that have been fun. I'm trying to think of others. This is a good question.
Yeah, I can mention maybe dogs, maybe pets or something like that. I've seen that.
Yeah, we have had quite a few ladies bring in their dogs and they've been so cute. We've had big dogs, we've had little dogs, always make for great photos as well.
Yeah. And being the money person, I've seen these money guns where like shoots out money. I've always wanted to do that, but it needs to be in a controlled environment because I got to pick up that paper money from
Yeah.
the
Yeah. I mean, as long as we don't get like a gust of wind, I think you'll be good. That would be so cute.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So one last tip that you could give to business owners if they're not, yet ready to hire a professional, what could be something that they should be considering when they're doing their own social media besides you need to actually post? What other information or what can you tell them?
Okay, I think there's going to be a couple of things. One, if we're referring to social media, get very clear on who your ideal client is, who you're speaking to, and create content that's going to speak to that person. So create content and really know, like, are there any concerns? Are there any fears that they have from using you or your services? What are their desired results and how can you speak to that, and the results you get for your clients, how can you start speaking to that, and really know that person, because ultimately that's who we're creating content for, is that ideal client. So that's number one. If you don't know that at all, then like all your efforts are going to be wasted with all your content. So get really clear on who that is, their problems, the solutions, the results, everything that you can offer to speak to them. Offer tips and tricks, quick wins, any educational content that helps them, that makes them want more from you, but in a very quick manner. Do that for sure. And then number two, if you're creating your own content, go back to good lighting. So whether this is for videos or for photos, if you're taking them, on your phone, on a tripod, you need good light. So if you are inside a building or maybe you're inside a house, look for a window and face that window. As long as it's not bright sun coming through, it's more indirect lighting from that window. Face that window, and that's how you're going to get the best light on your face and just really look illuminated. Dark photos and like weird grainy stuff, that doesn't catch attention when people are scrolling through social media. So you need something that's really bright, it's going to catch attention. So look for that good lighting when you're doing your photos and your videos.
Yeah, I can imagine if the lighting is too bright and you're kind of like squinting trying to take the photo, I mean, that's not going to be
good. We don't want that either.
And what I could see for you in the future, besides the expansion of more cities, is writing a book and talking more about the photography and the art behind it, because it really is a skill.
Yeah, it really is. There's 13 years there. I could totally do that.
Yay. So look for the book coming soon.
Right, coming soon.
Any idea on what cities you're going to be heading into in this coming year?
This is a good question. Nothing has been decided for sure, but we get a lot of requests for Chicago and we get a lot of requests for Atlanta. So those are probably going to be on the list soon.
Yeah, and Atlanta's probably good too, because while it does get somewhat hot, it doesn't have a snowy season, so your photographers can still continue. Although you mentioned being indoors too, so I imagine in those other places where maybe the weather gets colder, you can take your photo shoot indoors too.
Yeah, so Denver in the winters, we're shooting inside. Phoenix in the summers, we're shooting inside because it's too hot. So yeah, we'll find inside locations and we'll find it according to the weather as well. Make sure that we're not either freezing or like dying of heat. So
yeah, or maybe for your members, you do like a destination trip to a city maybe you're not yet in. So I could see like wine country, or like I'm a bourbon drinker, so let's go to Kentucky and do a photo shoot outside of Buffalo Trace. Like that would be amazing for me.
That would be awesome. Or even like go to an island, go to like Puerto Rico or something and get something like that.
Yeah, or those people that I think it's Greece where they put on those long, beautiful dresses.
Like and that it's blowing in the wind. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, so some fun ideas. I'm not great at photography, so I definitely will leave that to professionals.
Yeah, I love that. Good ideas though.
Yay. So Stacey, I have a fun question for you. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Yeah, I don't know if this is a total superpower, but I wish I could just like not sleep and be full of energy all the time. Because then I could get so much done and not be tired, and everybody could get all my attention all the time, and it would be 100%.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm sure running a business as you do, you spend a lot of time being pulled in many directions.
Yep. And then being a mom on top of that and a wife. So yeah, for sure. I'm like, if I
Yeah.
could just give it all 100% all the time, that would be ideal.
Yes, that's great. I like that. So if our audience wants to get in touch with you, sign up for a membership, figure out what cities you are currently in, how do they reach you?
Yeah, so our website is femforshoots.com. So that's FEMFORCE shoots.com. And then we're also on Instagram as well. We have lots of fun tips and tricks on Instagram. That's femforshoots_ on Instagram.
Yes, and you do have a Miami Instagram, which I follow as well. So
Yes.
you do have some of them that are local to the city, and it's nice to see because you can kind of get an idea of what the photo shoot's going to look like, and it really does look like a lot of fun. So I definitely,
Yeah, you will see, we like using like hotspots in each of those cities. So you'll see like what's popping up, which location is next and stuff like that.
Yay, awesome, Stacey. Well, thank you so much for your tips and your
Yeah,
time
thank you
today.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning into Empower Her Money podcast. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast, and leave a review wherever you are tuning in.